Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, joined by the best bridge crew this side of a nice pot of chamomile tea. Chamomile, not sleepy time. Chamomile tea, please. And
chamomile is sleepy time.
God damn it, you're right. I was gonna apologize ahead of time, but as the week goes and things happen, I forget to do things. I had this whole fancy plan to show everybody's text reactions after watching their screeners and seeing that big reveal, but I never sent them to Eric and his changeling chocolate bar. It didn't happen. Thought you could sneak that in.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
But we did. But the best bridge crew is here, and I will instead read their amazing reactions.
I don't even remember what I sent.
I'm not reading yours because you didn't send. Yours wasn't exciting because you weren't excited.
What?
I'm bringing you down. You weren't excited about the reveal.
I don't even know which reveal we're talking
The
about.
Reveal. The big one.
I hit my knee. I hit my knee on my desk when I saw it happen.
I think I missed something.
Just from the great link thing that Worf said. I was like, what? I was like, oh, fuck, my knee.
We're stepping over Julian reading her responses.
That's okay. I dig it. Speaking of our amazing hosts, Vice Admiral Eric, you're here with a chocolate bar, and I got an awesome text for you. It was, yes, I meant chocolate ice cream bar. In quotes. Also, the changelings. I can't
remember what we were talking about before then. Where I said also.
We weren't talking about anything. I don't.
Oh, I just said also the changelings.
I think we were talking about the episode and then also just the changelings. That happened. It was a good reaction. Commander Hawk, your reaction was also amazing. And you go, changelings. Did not see that coming. I liked yours too. Yep. And wait, is this, do I not have? Oh, no, there it is. And I think you also just said, what did Worf just say? I think you had a lot of reaction. I liked that. So,
I think that was MC's.
That one was mine.
Did I not? Oh, I didn't. I did my outline wrong. See, even if you read the outline.
See, that's why I won't read it because
it won't
it's
help
wrong.
It won't help you. Captain Giraffe, you're here, but you weren't terribly excited about the changeling reveal.
No, I'm looking what I wrote about the changeling. First, I was like, what is that? And funnily enough, I'm playing like that thing on Star Trek Online where like you're dealing with the changelings. So I was like, oh, them again? And then I said, is that a fucking changeling? Oh my God,
that's
they're
actually
back.
a good one.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh my God, they're back on
the
the fucking A. Get him a bucket, those motherfuckers. Somebody get them a job or something. That's what I wrote. I'm looking at our chat.
Okay, so your reaction actually was good until it wasn't. That's what we're gonna get into, though.
But then I go
what was your reaction?
Let's blow up the Titan.
My reaction?
Yeah, because you watched it before all of us. Like, I was the second one, and I was like, I can't text anyone other than Julian, and it's like 2 a.m.
I stood up. I haven't gotten to MCs yet, though. I'll do mine real quick. I stood up. I pointed at the screen. And that's why the poll at the end goes, did they just? Because I went,
yeah.
Did they just? And they did, and I paced 2 laps around my coffee table, and then I sat back down. It was a glorious moment. Speaking of glorious moments, Lieutenant Commander MC, you are here, and you texted me this. I got like the stream of your evening, which was awesome. Yeah. And you wrote, "What did Worf just say? What did Worf just say?" That was good. I liked that too.
Yeah.
And then you were like, "God damn it, I'm in." I like that. This is
that was shut up and take my money moment.
Yep,
yeah.
Shut up and take my money. This is going to be a fun episode to talk about. It is getting rave reviews, guys. Welcome back. How we doing tonight? Good. I think that was our longest intro of Strange New Pod ever. Not a bad thing. Eric's automatically happy because he has ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Draft's happy because she escaped. And that's all I'll say about that.
I did.
MC's happy because
I have a new shirt.
Her new shirt arrived.
Gorgeous.
Hawk arrived, also happy with a new article of clothing.
Yes. Oh, look, we're all like wearing cool stuff.
Yep.
Damn right.
Eric's got purple hair.
This is why people have to watch it on YouTube.
And this is why people have to watch on YouTube. I'm happy because I get to talk about this episode with everybody, and I'm super stoked. And I'm making a really sad TikTok for everyone to watch tomorrow.
Oh.
You're gonna love it, and I'm gonna make Giraffe cry tomorrow. It's a disco TikTok, Giraffe.
No.
I know. This week
I felt like somebody broke up with me via text. That's how I feel. You know, I feel like the love of my life for like 5 years just like broke up with me by text, like bye, and ghosted me. That's how I feel. I'm heartbroken.
Well, we don't ghost you. We are all here for you.
Mhm.
Yes,
We are
thank
all here
you.
for you. MC threatened to leave the podcast in her short tenure here if I did not start off by saying this week, Portal Combat! Oh, wait. There it is. That's right. Portal Combat.
Portal Combat.
Portal Combat. I hope you're happy, MC.
I very much.
What happens when the Shrike forces the Titan deeper into that nebula that looks like 1,000 different nebula from every Star Trek series? What's said between Jean-Luc and Beverly about their son Jack? When Shaw is critically injured and Riker takes command of the Titan, why do Will and Jean-Luc come at odds? Something that we have not seen often between those two. And with Rafi now working with Chamomile Tea, Worf, son of Moog, House of Martok,
Bane of the Duras family.
son
Mother
of
of Dragons.
son of Rozhenko. Yeah, now that they're working together, what game-changing discovery, no pun intended, do they make on Metalis Prime that is connected to the same discovery Jack and Seven make aboard the Titan? We are going to break that all down. But first, MC, we're breaking your patron collective cherry here with getting to read the names for the first time.
Thank you to our patron collective at the Ready Room level and above. Jeff Reeve, Myra Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Ken Hu, Taco Nanuguma, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Laura Linderman, Colin Davison, Alan Davis, Shatterhand 2049, Justco, Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Gildara, Cassie, the Canadian is French, Maggie Light, P. Card, Wayne Ritz, Scone of Arc, Sean, Jay Howard, Mahilani Uchiyama, Matt Herker, Joshua Lewis, Cassie McIntosh, David Willett, Tara Paulin, Slope 74, Rude Parakeek, Alex Sharkey, and our newest collective member, Joshua Miller.
I like how Joshua is like always new.
Yeah. We have a lot of no Joshua
Joshua is new.
No, Joshua is new. Joshua is new.
Oh, it's Alex who was new for like 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Alright.
We had a
I like-
different Joshua.
I like the fact that there's a typo in the list of patron and that everybody read it right because everybody's so used of hearing the list.
Where's the
So I'm
typo?
gonna have to find it.
Reads it right, and it's been here for a long time, and I've my eye on it, and I'm like, let's see if somebody actually read what's written or not. Someday.
Oh, I
Why
see
don't
it.
you
I
fix
see it. I see it.
You see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Because it's fun to see. I was like,
Yeah.
I wonder if she's gonna read it right or not, and you read it right because you know it by heart.
Mhm.
It's beautiful.
That's funny.
I'm looking
It,
and I can't find. Where is it?
It's very early.
I'll text you. It's very early. It's been here forever.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's been here literally forever. He's
I
just
know
looking for it now. You found it?
I'm gonna waste so
so.
much time looking at this. Anyway, I also
okay.
apologize. I did not have time to update Chris's. He changed his funny names again. I will keep these names in for next week, and I'll put them in. I'm sorry, I didn't have time to update the patron list, except I did with the new one, but you don't count. No, I'm kidding. We love you. You're the best. We're gonna try and get to this news because this is gonna be a long show tonight. We have a lot to talk about in this episode. Happy hour next week. Have bourbon and have cider, and we're gonna start there. And that's all I'm saying.
I'll be in Canada next week.
I know.
The
I know.
land of cider.
One more
yeah.
person
The
is
land of
passing the
cider.
border.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris says he's out of here. Sorry, buddy. You can't leave us. you're part of the collective. Pins, yearly pins, they have gone out. As far as international folks, if you would like one, I've only heard from one of you about shipping, but there might be something happening with shipping, so stay tuned. We might be able to get those all out to you free of cost to you for shipping, so stay tuned. Not a guarantee. Hold, though, in that holding pattern. You guys have news. Giraffe and MC.
I'm guessing trivia, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are going to be doing a Patreon trivia on Sunday at 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this month's theme is alternate realities and parallel dimensions.
Ooh. Nice.
Specific.
I
Yeah,
like it.
MC already wrote like 10 questions at 2 a.m. and texted me them, and I woke up at 6 a.m. I was like, what is this? It's a bunch of questions. So I'm like, okay.
I may have written more already.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Like, so
Oh, boy.
yeah, Sunday 9 p.m. Let's go. The link is already on the Patreon, so feel free to join.
Yeah. And I believe Eric said he made a design months ago because I should have known better, but we will have your quarterly sticker being made somewhat soon, so stay tuned for that. We never did
Beheadings
this at
are
the
on
beginning
Wednesday.
of the year. Yeah. We haven't done this year, and it's a new year, and we barely plugged the actual link. So we'll do this the one time and the one time only because we want to give you guys the show. But we talk about Patreon a lot, and our Patreon is awesome. So if you'd like to join, it's really simple. Just go to patreon.com/strangenewpod. We have tiers just starting at $1 a month. Because of all of you already, the show is self-sustainable, but with more support, we can do more bonus pods. We can buy new merch. We can do a whole lot of fun things. Make more donations to awesome charities, which we've also done. It's great. We need your support. We love your support. Starting at $1 a month all the way up to $10 a month. And I've had like 3 people message me this week, no bullshit, about like, we'd like to give you more. So there might be a new like $20 captain's table tier coming. Stay tuned. We'll see. That's a lot of money. I don't like asking for that like amount of money. I mean,
And then
I do,
Giraffe
but I
is
don't.
gonna work full time for the Patreon. That's what she's gonna
Yep,
do.
that's what she's gonna do. It's true. Anyway, I don't like doing the whole big plug thing, but patreon.com/strangenewpod. You could tell trivia, happy hours, bonus pods. There's a lot. So check it out. You don't have to sign up, but check it out. There's some free shit on there too that you don't have to sign up for. You just have to be there. So
Be there.
just have to be there. All right, guys. Anything else? Anybody have anything else?
Oh, we're gonna be at some convention, so join us at WonderCon at the end of the month for a super Star Trek panel about paleontology and archaeology in Star Trek. And come find me, come say hi. It's in LA. And are we doing another convention?
Yes, I plugged it last week. Trek Long Island.
There's not another one before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I don't think so. Yeah.
Good. Everybody good? Good. All right. Strange New Loop time. All right, so big reason that Will and Jean-Luc are at odds is because one of them wants to stay and fight and one wants to run away, which both are, I think, good options. And obviously not possible. Let's get that out of the way. They could not leave because of Vatican portal combat. It was not going to happen. So if you were in command of the Titan, if you were Will Riker, or if you were just Captain Eric or Captain MC, what would you have gone with? What would have been your play? It could be not one of these options. What would it be and why? Who wants to go first? In chat, obviously, YouTube, let us know as well. Who wants to go first?
I mean, I think the situation is very important. They're already crippled. It's not like if you're like full force, I'd say the best defense is attack, especially if you're alone.
They're also
right?
not a military. They're not equipped
They're an
for that type.
exploratory vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Bullshit.
With a lot of photon torpedoes.
With a lot of photon torpedoes. They know they're outgunned. So I'd say that if you the best defense is attack. Always. But they're crippled. So they should run. I would have run. Like it's the Kobayashi Maru, like
Mm-hmm.
try to run, try to save the people, because by attacking, you will lose more people anyway, and you're already crippled. So try to hide. Like You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Find a
wants to
big
go?
find a big asteroid, hide inside it.
Right.
All right, Django Fett. Or Obi-Wan.
No, she's right. Like-
or Han Solo.
Or Han Solo.
Right? I would have went with Han
all of
Solo too.
them.
Yeah.
Hide. Like obviously, like they're not at 100%. They can't go anywhere as we've seen. Like I know they said they couldn't go through the nebula, but hanging in there is better than getting shot to shit by this giant thing that just wants to throw ships at you. Man.
I mean,
Right.
I can understand why Shaw didn't do this because he's a dick. But how many things on
Hey.
Star Trek come on, he is. I like him, but he's a dick. But how many things in Star Trek has been solved by sitting around like the, magic meeting table where, everybody discusses options. I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, granted, I know they're all on high alert, but other ships have been on high alert before and they've been managed to sit at those tables and go
Maybe
through
Shaw doesn't like
ideas.
tables like that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But
like
he's
that's why I
got
said
one
he's-
and he was working at it, so he
Yeah.
likes them.
Maybe that's his table.
That's true. But what I'm getting, MC, is that you just want the classic TNG observation lounge scene.
Yeah, I want everybody to like bounce off of each other to like kind of work out what's going on because we haven't really gotten that. We've had, like 3 captains who are trying to like,
Captain their way.
Yeah.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
That's true.
Yeah.
Too
Too
many
many
cooks.
captains on the bridge.
Yep.
Too
Yep.
many
But MC,
cooks.
would you have run? That's the question.
Well, I was told that we could come up with another option, and so I was, and my option is getting other people to do the work for me.
Do you think
but-
do you think the crew would have listened? Like, who would they have gone to in these 3 captains? Right? Because they're gonna have like
who's
3.
who's
Yeah.
their real daddy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's the
their
most
real
captain
daddy?
of all the
Mhm.
captains?
Riker.
Riker.
Yeah.
This guy.
Riker.
This guy and that guy.
Yeah, Riker.
Riker.
Yeah.
I want to
'Cause
say
Shaw's
Riker,
a
but
dick, and
yeah.
Picard's the reason they're in this problem in the first place.
Yep.
So
like Shaw's their current daddy, and they seem to
I think
fear
they
him.
respect him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think there's some respect for him though.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Other options? Anybody else?
I mean, what are the other options?
I know one. Eject the
Okay.
warp core.
It's actually
Eject
not a bad idea.
the warp core! Yes! But
It's actually not a bad idea.
the
I
warp core
mean-
is not functioning, if I understood. Isn't it like off or something? Like, isn't there like a problem with the warp core already?
Well, basically, like I think like that bomb disrupted the conduits that carry warp energy to the engine. So
Yep.
yeah,
Look at
And the nebula.
technobabble.
Yeah. Well, and the nebula, whenever they go in, is disabling all of their systems, including
Yeah.
sensors and
Sensors.
warp drive. Yep.
I was expecting like a Star Trek 09, like, like let's get out of it by like the wave of like ejecting the warp core and detonating it, but
Mm.
no, they didn't give me that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm.
Mhm.
I mean, like, why isn't there like some science officer like investigating like how we can track where the portal's going to open?
They died when the ship got thrown at them.
No,
I mean,
the Vulcan Delton girl.
Yeah.
She's
Okay,
awesome.
there's
awesome.
a lady is here.
I like her a lot.
I like her
Mhm.
too.
Bean.
Devine, that's correct. Hawk, you got anything?
not so much in the options in that, but it still reminds me of that old TNG episode with Picard. I think it was Times Squared, where it's like the same pattern kept happening in that. Picard kept returning to the
Yep.
Enterprise after it was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't he have learned a lesson from that? Like, can't go forward, can't go, but can't go back, can't go left, can't go right. Go through it. I know, like, even the fact that, like, we weren't really talking about this whole anomaly the entire time, and that is not just like some nebula, and that is something very strange is going on.
There's coffee in the
Indeed.
nebula.
Yeah,
You could say they're in a strange new loop.
right.
Yeah, I like
You
how
go stand in the
nobody's-
corner.
I like how nobody's really worried by the fact that they're like biological waves of stuff, and they're just like, oh yeah, must be Tuesday. Like, what the?
Sure is.
what? Like,
Oh, I just love Shaw's response to it. Anybody else want to throw some weird shit at me?
I
now?
love that man so much. I'm gonna read some from the good old chat here. Donnie Pearson, by the way, just says hello. Hope everyone is well despite the breaking Discovery news. Yeah, we're gonna decide just not to talk about that. Well, there'll be a time.
Talk about this.
Yeah.
There'll be a time and a place. The Stranger Loop from Haven. If I was in charge of the Titan, I would have pulled a Top Gun and done a full stop and full reverse. And then I would have cowarded to the holodeck and checked to see what Pike and Una did on the Enterprise. I like that. Michael Kwan's got a great one. Use the scent trail to lure the Shrike into a minefield of converted photon torpedoes. They do have a lot of them.
That's true.
Destroy it while the Shrike was disabled and its shields were down. That's actually very good. And that goes a little bit to mine. I'm on Jean-Luc's side here. I would have tried to fight, but I also would have then run. I would have done both. Duh, right? But
Shoot and run.
everybody's missing the big thing that already happened in this episode that Jean-Luc did successfully. He shot that photon torpedo, and then before it actually detonates on the ship, he shot a phaser burst at it, which made it explode and push the Shrike back. You do that right as you're exiting, they have to come back. They have to that thing has to charge. It's not just an insta shot. They have a window there to get out, so why not just do the same move again, right?
Well, I
Especially
feel
if
like
you catch them off guard.
Wouldn't the Shriek know at that point?
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen in Star Trek though anybody shoot down a photon torpedo? Right,
Not
like
yet.
what would not yet? Like what would they do? Would they try to? I don't know. I think it would have worked, and I think they could have gotten out and warped away. That being said, then we wouldn't have more plot and more things that happen in next week's episode. So, any others in the chat? I don't think so. Colin just writes, I totally disagreed with Picard. I would have gotten the hell out of there. Yeah, a little bit of both. I think I have a snack coming. I do. Sorry. Just like Eric, it's snack break. It's coming up on the Jewish holiday of Purim, and Karen made hamantaschen.
Ooh.
You should be jealous. You should be very jealous.
I want to see it closer.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. That's why I want to
So
see.
there,
It looks good.
It's dough. It's like this beautiful dough, and then it's filled. Like one's filled with cherry, and one is filled with dulce de leche.
Oh man, that sounds so good.
Yeah. So there's going to be some mic commuting happening in a very short moment. Anybody else have anything for the Strange New Loop? No? Good. Let's get into our review of Star Trek Picard episode 303. That is 17 seconds, which, Hawk, your background is one of the references to 17 seconds. Do you want to explain that real quick?
I was wondering if somebody in the chat might notice, and that it'll be anybody with probably in the 40 plus category in that who listened to cool music growing up.
It's like that's so insulting to anybody who doesn't know it.
This is the album cover for The Cure's 17 Seconds. It was, it's either their second or third album. And I immediately, as soon as I saw the title of this episode, I immediately thought of it. The writers have got to be a fan. It's so specific, you know.
The video, they can't see it because the red's only in the corners where you're cropped.
Mm-hmm.
So all they see is the white behind your head.
Oh well.
Okay. I see.
But that's still a cool deep dive. I like it. Obviously, a couple other references to 17 seconds this episode. We are going to review it. Our order tonight will go Giraffe, MC, Eric Hawk, and then followed by myself. We're going to talk about the Crusher in the room. But before we get into Bev and Jean-Luc's convo, early on in this episode, right, we get a flashback to everything. I guess, everything's in LA now instead of San Francisco. I guess Guinan didn't want to be in San Francisco and put 10 forward in LA. Why not? So Will and Jean-Luc are celebrating the birth of Thaddeus, who we know
Sad.
tragically passed away. Also is the feature of one of the Picard novels that's very good, which The Dark Veil. Which you should read. It is really good.
There are many Romulans in it. Read it.
Many Romulans. There's Romulans in every Star Trek novel.
Every Star Trek novel, yeah.
This is how
Picard
Giraffe
novel.
judges how good they are. It's like
Yeah.
how many
Yeah,
Romulans
like,
are in
it
it.
literally starts in a Romulan ship. I was like,
Yeah.
deal. I'm gonna read this one.
But Will is telling the story to Jean-Luc about how Thaddeus almost didn't make it. It was not, I don't know if he said specifically what kind of birth it was, but It was
They only said touch and go.
touch and go, so it was not
Mhm.
going well. And how the turbo lift down to sickbay from the bridge was only 17 seconds, but thought it was the longest moment of his life. What did we think about this beautiful moment between Jean-Luc and Will? Treff.
I don't know. So I think it was a bit I didn't buy it right in at the beginning. I was just like, the first thing I thought is like, wait, your wife has a newborn and you're drinking at a bar? Like, that was literally my first reaction. And after he gets
Are you
yelled at,
kidding? When I had
Yeah.
a newborn, I went drinking at a bar.
oh my God, that's why I don't have kids. Says you're all terrible. And and I was like,
Have kids and then say that.
dude, I would have been pissed if I went. And you know who I would not piss off? Deanna Troy. That's a person I
Yeah.
would not piss off.
Mhm.
I would not leave her alone after giving birth to go drink with Captain Picard. Like, I know she was gonna be pissed. And yeah, I feel like it was very heavy setup for, another turbo lift, another like 17-second thing. And I mean, it was cute, but can we speak about the de-aging?
My
was not
biggest-
good.
Yeah, that was not good. Like,
I think maybe that's why I was not like super touched by the moment, because I was like, what is happening with their faces?
It was
I
not good.
I was
The
way
kindest
more like,
thing I could say is that it's better than the de-aging on Patrick Stewart from X-Men: The Last Stand.
That's what I thought too.
That
That's
is
all
true.
that was my reference. I was like, this is fine.
yeah, that is absolutely true. But I
Both The
was
Last Stand
way
and
more-
X-Men Origins, both which were fucking terrible.
Right, yeah.
I was way more emotionally involved during the conversation with Crusher, for example, because like there was like, you could really see the emotion in the face. This one, I was just like, somebody's gonna be yelled at and your face look weird. But I like that right away we were explaining like the 17-second, like what it was. So I was like, oh. And right there I was like, oh, they're gonna kill the kid. But they almost did, but they didn't. But yeah.
MC.
I think I was a little more generous on this scene than Giraffe was. The de-aging didn't bother me just because I'm totally a nerd to any of this de-aging at this point. Like, I mean, it wasn't great, but like whatever. Like, it didn't last very long. The only bit that I had kind of a problem with was at the very beginning, like that joke that like Picard is making where he's telling that like really long, speech, and then he ends with, and of course I'm talking about his mother. It was so telegraphed that it just went on just a tiny bit too long for me. They could have cut it like one line.
But that's how old people tell jokes.
Yeah, maybe I hear so many of them that I don't want to hear it on my screen. But I thought Frakes did really well. His whole speech, he just was fantastic. But I was distracted by the fact that we have another new uniform.
Oh my God.
And it was really ugly. It was
Yeah.
really ugly. Yeah. Eric.
I liked it. I like when it felt like two old friends coming together. Like when my kids were born, I definitely went drinking Giraffe. No, I didn't. But I had
I did.
I had friends
Okay,
that
okay. Can we just but can we add to that? His kid almost freaking died. Like,
Yeah,
like
that's
you
fair.
go at a bar, like.
But
come
this
on.
isn't immediately afterwards, right?
Yeah,
It's
to be fair, it seems like Thad is doing okay at this
Yeah.
point, because I did forget to mention Deanna Troy's cameo was freaking bomb. She's
Yes.
so good.
she was
damn
good.
right.
Yeah.
You could also, it's not like you have to drive back and forth in the bar. If like she's really mad, you're just like, did you transport? You're there in
Mhm.
Yeah.
a millisecond.
Yeah. Who knows how far, right?
Right.
I liked it. I like I love the rapport between Franks and I was gonna say Picard, but Patrick Stewart, and it really helped for later when they start clashing to see this their closeness, and then they clash so well because they're such good friends. They know each other so well. Like this is a great friendship between the two. I love seeing Deanna Troy. Why she brought the baby into engineering, I don't know. That seemed like a bad idea.
Why was she in
I know
engineering?
why. I know why. and I'm going to write a fanfic about it. Oh, I do. I 100% know why.
Okay. Well, I look
You
forward.
want to know why?
Sure.
But yeah,
Because kids have routines when they're babies, and sometimes there are very specific things that can make them fall asleep.
Yeah.
The
You
sound
gotta
of the warp.
guarantee
The sound
that
of
the
the
warp.
thrumming of the warp core put that kid to bed like that.
I know.
That's
Like,
something
it
like
didn't
that
because he
happened in
puked
DS9
everywhere.
with Kiriyoshi.
Yeah.
It didn't work
Kiriyoshi
the
could-
one time.
Yeah, Kiriyoshi could only fall asleep in the center of ops
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
of something about the thrumming. So
my
there's precedent.
Yeah, my friend used to get really bad pains when she was pregnant, and she would wake up at like 2 a.m. and watch Battlestar Galactica. So when the baby was born, the only way that it would fall asleep was listening to the theme song, which was so
I
cool.
love that.
I mean, this is perfect parenting. Like, like watch Star Trek throughout your pregnancy, like hours a day, and then your kid can only sleep when you watch Star Trek. Oh no, too
Oh.
bad. Oh.
Cecily, like clockwork, when she was a baby, instantly would fall asleep to Ray's theme from
Oh.
The Force Awakens.
Nice.
It was like that. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm done with that too.
I love this scene. Sharing the two of them sharing drinks and that, we never got to see anything like that in TNG and that. So you can see like how kind of time has passed and that like, all the barriers of command have kind of fallen away, and it's just two buddies like celebrating the birth of his first child. It was great, jokes and everything aside, it was fine. What else was I gonna say?
Oh, I also remember something I had to say.
Did you?
Okay, I'm gonna add something. The
Yes.
whole story about 17 seconds and it being the most terrifying time in your life. Like when you have your first kid and something happens to them, it is the worst feeling in the world. Like I can still remember like Kateri fell down the stairs when she was a baby, and it was the worst thing that I can still see it in slow motion happen, and it's like it's haunting. So I understand like the power of that and how it would affect you moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't he transport from the bridge to medbay?
It doesn't make as good a story, Giraffe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He probably wasn't
I broke
thinking.
the podcast.
He
Everyone's
probably
like,
ran
well-
like as soon as he heard it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, also they're very inconsistent as to whether or not like intership
Site to
transporting
site
is-
transports.
Yeah.
they can do it in Enterprise in Strange New World, so I'm sorry, but like, why not?
Like I said, it's inconsistent.
I mean,
And a waste of energy.
It is.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure, okay. Let him take the freaking turbo eight for like 17 seconds.
Oh, you got anything else?
And I think, as you mentioned before, in that it like given the context of that scene and that with what we know happens in the future and that from Dark Veil, from Picard season 1 and everything like that, it just it kind of hits harder than a lot of people give it credit for.
Yeah.
Giraffe, there are
hey-
people running around in the med bay. It wouldn't be safe.
Yeah, what if
to
he
teleport.
transported into one of them?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
What, they
Yeah.
have like a place to, what are you talking about? Like they literally have
Enterprise had a transporter in Strange New Worlds, but
Yeah.
I never ever saw a transporter pad on any of the other sick bays.
Yeah.
Just
I
saying.
think even if he had transported in, it still would have been the longest few seconds of his life.
Agreed. It's
Yeah.
still the same story. Yep.
Yeah.
I too love this scene. The de-aging took me out of it a little bit. I won't lie. I think all they needed to do was not de-age Jean-Luc at all. I just don't think you need to anymore. Who
Yeah.
cares? Who cares? But Will, dude, Jonathan Frakes is still a great looking dude. Like, just dye his hair and his beard, and I'm
Yeah,
convinced that's
makeup.
all you needed to do. And yeah, and
put some like prosthetics.
some-
I don't
yeah,
know. Like,
yeah, I think the CG was not good, but their acting made up for that entirely. I know those 17 seconds. Caleb was a NICU baby. It was rough. His heart was racing. He had fluid in his lungs. When they took him away, it was fucking awful. So I know all about that. It sucks. Deanna, also 100% fucking on point. And if I was her, I would have brought him to engineering to put him by the warp core. Because Caleb. Everything is Caleb. Caleb, the only way that he would get to sleep is by thrumming. The little that you could barely hear in our kitchen, we have this big overhead light, and it's got fluorescence in it, and they hum, and he would go in and he would just stare up at it, and within minutes he would be asleep. And I'm guessing the cool effects of the warp core and that thrum are just very like.
And again,
I get this as a kid, as a dad.
Starfleet has no freaking OSHA. You imagine everybody just bringing their
Engineering is
born
perfectly safe.
engineering.
Stop it. Stop it.
By the warp core. Like, what are those? The lithium burns? Oh, Howard, you're still alive.
Anyway, I loved it. There was a question. Do you think Jack was born at this point? Maybe. Don't know the timeline there.
I think based on the timeline, I believe it's been worked out that Jack is actually a year older than Thad.
Okay, there you go. Boom. Let's talk about the revelation, right? That Crusher and Jean-Luc were together right after the events of Nemesis. They're on and off again, but they finally did the thing. But
17
once again,
seconds.
17 seconds.
Get off my bridge.
That's what he said to Bev on the way out.
Oh no!
Get off my bridge. Oh
Oh
man.
my God.
Oh, you're all going to hell.
That's it. Podcast over, guys. Have a good night. But yeah, so just like a bunch of other times they were gonna end things, they had some candle time, some green candle time by some waterfalls, and Jack was conceived. It happened. Bev's reasoning was for just cutting everybody out, including Jean-Luc, including the entire crew, were because of the constant and consistent threats on Jean-Luc's life. Both during the time as captain of the Enterprise and later as the head of the Romulan relocation effort. In her words, I knew I could protect my child. I wasn't sure I could protect yours. Was Bev right to keep Jack from Jean-Luc? Giraffe.
No,
That's right.
absolutely not. So first of all, I don't like the fact that she blames the Romulans for everything. It's in that list of like offenses, and I'm like, girl,
And the Remans. Don't forget about the Remans.
the Remans. I'm like, girl,
Where's
they
Lexi?
go through stuff. Like, come on, everybody's suffering here. No, I think that if you think that having a kid with that guy that you've been on and off again would be the most terrible thing because your child could die, then don't have a kid with that person. This is the 24th century, girl. It's not the 1700s, okay?
Sunshine
so
and rainbows.
Get out of here with and then if you have a kid and you want to keep it, I believe that everybody is owed to know that they're a parent. Like, this is, I mean, I'm a woman, so I could not become a mother without being aware of it. And I mean, except T'Pol, right? I think she's the only woman that ever had a baby without knowing. But I can't imagine learning that you had a kid with somebody that you were so close for so long, and that she would rather run than just letting you know.
That is a great. Sorry, real quick. That is a great point. I want you to go off on that some more because you said the great friend for someone you've known for so long. Remember,
It's not
have
a
been
one-night
besties.
stand.
They have been besties since before the Enterprise. They were besties on the Enterprise. I mean, on the Stargazer with Jack, her husband.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
So it's not a one-night stand where you don't really know the dude and you're like, I don't know, maybe he's not father material. I don't know, he's a drug dealer. I don't know. He's part of the mafia. My kid is gonna have problem. It's like somebody you have history and not a little bit. And again, if you didn't want to get pregnant, like, you had like choices, my friend. It's not the same. So you decided to keep that kid, and instead of like having the conversation, you ran. And I mean, like, that scene was like, you could see when he said, like, I could have been a parent, I could have been a father, and I was robbed of this. And I was like, oh my God, this is so horrible that your friend would do that to you. That they
Friend
would not
and
even...
lover, on and off again lover. It's not even
it's not about like lover, it's about like friendship, because I think there's I think this level of friendship is even more than being lovers. Like, it's somebody you trust, it's somebody you have the same value, it's somebody who's you gone through shit with that person, Lovers, like, love comes and go, But
also have to keep in mind, she not only cut out Picard, she cut out
everybody.
everyone.
Everyone. Yes. Yes, that
And
is
I'm
very
like-
important.
And again, like he's like old now and he's a golem, right? And he learns now that he could have been a father all this time and he didn't have the choice of it. And I think that's it. Is robbing somebody from the choice that is absolutely terrible.
Yep.
Let them make their own choice.
Kevin Richardson keeps saying that she had an accidental baby. No, it wasn't. Like she had the baby on purpose. Like she wanted to have the
Yeah,
kid.
she wanted to have the kid.
There was no
Like, come on.
accident. She knew and she was fine with it and did it and just kept it from Jean-Luc. There was no accident that happened. It just she decided not to share the information.
It's not Matilda.
Yeah. Wait, Matilda?
Yeah.
You said Matilda?
I said it's not Matilda.
No. MC.
I very much agree with Giraffe on all of this. I definitely think that Bev should have told Picard about this. I mean, first of all, I will say this was a very well acted scene between them.
Oh my
like,
God.
Oh my God.
Like,
Yeah.
like Patrick Stewart and Gates McFadden have just been doing this for forever. They know each other so well, and it really shows. But Bev, my God, Bev, like, what are you doing? I mean, the way she was talking about Picard not wanting to have kids sounded like she was talking about season 1 Picard, not Picard from
Yes.
Nemesis. Yeah,
Absolutely.
because like
Mhm.
we'd had years of Picard with Wesley, of all people. Like she'd seen Picard with her own kid already, and like everything that he went through in Generations, like
Mhm.
that
Thank
angst
you.
about being the last of the Picards, like, and also like this whole thing about you were called away from shore leave, like you always are. Dude, you're serving on the same ship as him at the time. Like, it's not like this is a long distance relationship that things are so stressful. Like, you guys are together all the time. Like, I don't buy this whole you're so devoted to the ship. You were devoted to the ship too, Bev. Like, it just
You literally left being the head of Starfleet Medical
Yes.
to come back to the Enterprise.
yeah. It just, as much as I liked how this scene was acted, it really disappoints me that this was the reason for it.
Yeah.
Because I saw it coming. Because I mean, like, Bev cut everybody out, like Picard, Troy, Riker, everybody, because they didn't want anybody else on the crew to be burdened with this secret. They wanted it to just be Bev, so everybody else remains completely blameless in it. And I don't think it's something that Bev would do. I don't think she would cut Picard out on all of this.
I don't think so either.
Because yes, like Picard has all of this bad stuff happen to him, but also like how long has he been chilling out at Chateau Picard?
Yeah.
He's been
Until
retired for
Romulan
quite a long
murderers
time.
from the Tal Shiar just showed up and tried to murder everybody.
Yeah, it seems like a very weak excuse. And I really did like that Picard called her out on it, that you robbed me of the chance to be a father. And he's a father and a husband, because I do think that if there was anybody in his life that Picard would have settled down with, it would have been Bev.
Mm-hmm.
And we said that the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. We,
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. You good, MC?
Yep.
Eric.
Okay, I agree with everyone here. Yes, of course. It's maddening. And there was a point in there where I was like sitting there like, is she blaming Picard for Wesley leaving as well? Because she even brings up Wesley. I was like,
Yeah,
he had
she
nothing to
is.
do with
Yeah.
that. That wasn't his choice.
By the way, she names the kid Jack Crusher on
Yeah.
top of it. Like, damn.
The only way that this scene would work for me, like it's beautifully acted, like everyone said, is if she's not telling the truth, the whole truth, right?
Mhm.
There's something about
Mhm.
Jack that she's not telling Picard about. And that's why I think that she ran. Is that she didn't want her friends and family to get hurt, and that she could protect, which is a weird thing because I feel like they could all protect Jack, but I think there's more to this story than we know. And like even seeing the screeners, I still don't understand what's happening
Right.
with Jack. And I want to, and I feel like there's a key there, and Bev's not telling anyone about it. I don't even think she told Jack. And that's where I am with this.
Hawk.
Okay, since everybody seems to be in agreement about it, and that I'm going to try playing devil's advocate. And
Oh
Ooh.
no!
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we have Giraffe for this episode with everything else.
Well, let's examine this. I mean, Beverly, like she said, like she lost her parents. She lost her parents very young, and so it's like I think probably the trust issues began at that point. Raised by the grandmother, obviously. Lost her first husband to Starfleet in an accident, and something that obviously Jean-Luc was involved in because he still carried the guilt of that for a lot of years, right? Wesley, I don't think she's blaming like Picard for Wesley in that, or maybe she is. I don't know on that, but Wesley is another person in her life close that is left and is gone, right? And
I mean, it's Wesley's fault he's not visiting her too, right?
Yeah, I would
It's
also say
kinda-
that he
Yeah,
can visit
totally,
her
yeah.
anytime that he
Yeah,
wants.
yeah.
He lives in space and time. That's on him, not on her.
Exactly.
Time.
I know, like
Yeah, that was a Doctor Who reference. Come
Yeah,
on.
he's basically the doctor. at
He's
this
the
point.
doctor. Yeah.
he's the doctor. He's cute at this point, I know, but like again, bad son. She has lost a lot of people that are close to her in that, and again, she knew Picard and the person he was. And that it's like his hesitation about being a father, that went on for years, and that
Oh my God.
the,
Eric.
the normal life obviously wasn't something for him, obviously. And she's right in that the troubles finds him no matter what.
My argument to all of that is that she was the CMO of the Enterprise for how many years? She raised a kid on the Enterprise. It's not like she's just like some normie who is coming in off the street and is like, your dangerous life. She has that life too.
She was literally fine letting her son be the helmsman of the Enterprise, which was gonna ram into a Borg cube in the best of both worlds. Like
Exactly.
it's bonkers. It's just
Okay, so-
bonkers.
Okay,
Don't
but okay.
Okay, but.
Sounds like you, Giraffe.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I sound like?
Yep. Kidding. We love you. Go ahead, Hog.
All right, Giraffe, did you need to make a
Go
point?
ahead. It's a segue. Yeah.
We're not allowing for the fact that this is many years into the future and that, and people change, and the fact that she did get that she and Picard they got pregnant. This is maybe her last chance in that, and she thought, am I going to do the same all over again, raise a child under Starfleet and Picard and everything in that? Am I going to make the same mistakes over and over again, or do I try something different?
But has she been keeping Jacques very safe so far? From
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is
It works.
literally Doctors Without Borders. It is not. Yeah.
The thing that I think troubles me is that Bev in the past in TNG was way more of I don't know, free woman, and like who would like take her own decision than how she's written here. Like it's like a woman from like the 50s. I ran away with my baby, and I cut all the strings with everybody, and I hide.
That's why I think there's something behind
And
it.
I'm like, I hope so, because if not, it's just like kind of like reductive, to be honest.
Mhm.
I
Because
agree.
she's
And-
so much more in TNG. Like, she's here, her son is here, she's like ready for them to have experiences and like opportunities. And then she gets, and I'm gonna say, as a woman, the older I get, the less fuck I give about everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's a constant when you get older that you realize that nothing is like this freaking important in the end, And I'm like, how does she go from Wesley's mom to Jack's mom? Like, I don't understand. And so I hope there's another thing, because her character, how she's written as an older woman, doesn't make sense to me. Like, her reaction doesn't make sense. Who would do that? Like, who would do that? It's like something from the like the 1920s, Like, it's like one of these like weird like romantic character, and I hit, yes, he's your son. Like, what?
So I'm gonna go. I love this scene. I love the acting in the scene, and it's a great scene. Bev's dead fucking wrong, but it's a great scene. My biggest gripe with this isn't even the fact that she keeps it from Jean-Luc, even though I think that that's wrong too. Giraffe said words that were going to come right out of my mouth. Everyone who has a hand in making a child has a right to know that they're a parent. Period. End of story. the fact that she cut out Picard, but then cut out some of her closest friends. Like, you don't fill in Deanna, your best friend, about this, who can maybe be a mediator between the two. You don't fill in Will, who is also like, this is they're not just a crew. They are literally a family. You would have had the best support system possible for that kid. He would have grown up loved by like 12 different people. It's bonkers that she would make this decision. It just makes no sense. And Picard just hits it right. Like, you can't condemn me for, like, before the act, right? Like, you can't do that. MC, you said it earlier, like, Jean-Luc was a changed man after generations. When the fire happened and Renee and Robert were lost, I'm sorry, I forget Robert's wife's name. But when they were all lost, I think that
Marceline, what's her name? Like, it's like an.
It's very French.
She lived. She lived.
Oh, did she live?
Yeah.
She did. Okay, so why wasn't she at the chateau with Jean-Luc? I don't understand. Like,
her name is Marie.
Oh, okay.
Marie,
but no, like, just I lost my train of thought. Jean-Luc.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
He was a changed man.
He was a changed man. He was
Yes,
he was a changed man after that. I think that he would have settled down. I think he would have had kids. And I think if Beverly had said, "Hey, maybe take an admiral post and like time to stop, doing the insurrection thing and going on the captain's yacht and firing phaser rifles, like time to settle down," I think he would have. He says it. He's like, "I know now that I wouldn't have been my father, and I think if you had told me about this, I would have figured that out 20 years earlier." He would have been able to.
Even if he wouldn't, she could have gone.
Yeah.
I also think that if they apparently we now know that they broke up 5 times. Like, as much as like Guinan was giving Picard shit in season 2 about not being able to commit, like, why wasn't Bev also like opening up to have a conversation with him about their relationship?
Just anybody. Like, there were so many people that could have helped them through this, right? Like, it just, I don't know. I'm not going to go to the next part because we covered it, but I think we all feel for Jean-Luc a little bit here. He was definitely like
A lot of
wrong.
it.
A lot of it. Like, it's just, he had that right to be a parent, take it from him, and that sucks. I do like, as MC put it, and I've been saying as I watch the screeners, this season is nerd proof. I like immediately Jean-Luc's, the accent. He went to school in London. He couldn't shake it. Done. It's done.
Yep.
You can't basement nerd about it. Go away. Go away. Anyway, let's talk blood in the water. The Shrike, Vadic, right? They follow Titan into the nebula, and Vadic just seems to be able to find them in every direction that they go, despite the fact that sensors are not working for either ship in the nebula. During one of the attacks with Vadic's, that is not Vedic Barile, Vadic's terrifying portal weapon, Shaw is like bleeding from the mouth. He has to transfer command to Riker. What did we think about this shift in command? All of a sudden, Riker is in command of his old, new ship, Giraffe.
I thought it was so easy. Like, when like everything shakes and then he flew, and like I was like, did they kill him? Because I knew. Like, listen, we knew. We all know that, okay? That Riker is here. They're gonna make him the captain of the Titan. Because, like, please, why try something new when you can have Riker captain in the Titan in not one show but 2 shows on TV? Let's go.
We barely got him as captain of the Titan in Lower Decks. Come on.
I mean, come on. He has not been on TV for like in Star Trek for like ever, and then suddenly he's like captain of the Titan, like 2 shows 2 years in a row. But okay, so like when I saw him flew and like hit his head, first of all I thought they killed him, and I was like, that's a bit drastic. It's mean. But then sure, they had like to incapacitate him and get him out of the bridge. So it's like such a big plot device that I was just like, sure. I would have rather preferred that it gets super mad and be okay. You wanna fuck? Okay, well then I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
I would have respected that more. But no, they had to critically injure him. And then he's like limping and he's gonna die. And then in his dying breath, he goes like, oh shit, following us. I was like, oh, the drama, the epicness. I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm a sucker, but sure. Like, it serves its purpose. It's fun.
I like Michael Kahn's comment here, actually. I think Shaw transferred Commander Riker out of peak. Just one last fuck you to Riker for getting him in all
absolutely.
this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
oh, you want to cheat? Well, here you go. So
Yep.
I like that little like jab, but we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It's predictable. They didn't have to break him in half. The trail of blood that like gives the idea of like, oh, they're trying. And it's like, I mean,
You're
okay,
getting
come on.
ahead. You're getting ahead.
It's fine. It was okay.
MC.
Definitely similar to Giraffe. I do think that like this was a predictable scene. It doesn't mean that it wasn't a good scene.
It was good.
Literally,
good.
the only thing that was going through my head when I was watching this was just like, Julian's got the biggest nerd boner right now.
I love him too.
It was quite large.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I know I've been rough on Shaw for the last couple episodes, but I've actually like become quite fond of him by this point. He's a dick, but he's awesome. So I'm hoping
He's a dick, but he's our dick.
Exactly.
He's our dick, and he takes care of his crew. I like
Yeah.
that he didn't overwork them. He's like, y'all have been up way too long. Go get some rack time. Like, come on.
That was a very nice moment. We definitely need that for captains because we don't see that a lot. And I hope he pulls through this.
Yeah, agreed. Eric.
When I saw that it looked like he was going to die, I flipped out because I love him.
Yeah, right.
I love him.
I was like, "Fuck you!"
But
I love how every single one of us thought that he was a goner.
well, he was bleeding out of his
I
mouth.
know,
That's
it
not
looks
really.
bad. No, it's not good.
They don't really show
I mean,
that.
his plot armor is not as strong as Riker's, so
I mean, he doesn't have the lung capacity like a trombonist would. So
Yeah,
Honestly.
very good point.
That
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
The,
absolutely.
seeing Riker in the chair, I loved it. How could you not? Like, you don't get to see him that often, and that was the best part of season 1. The one best part of season 1. So, yeah, I thought it was great. It was cheesy. It was awesome. I didn't care at the moment. I was just like, fuck yeah, you better not kill Shaw. But I'm good with this right now.
Oh, love it.
So yeah, a little predictable, but come on, it was a moment we were waiting for Riker to take the reins in that. But they got there. I think they got there pretty organically in that. Let's take into account like Shaw at the beginning in that. It's like, he was a guy who would like order and obeying the rules, and that as he said, we're not going to be blowing stuff up, we're not going to be crashing ships. But now he's in a situation where he doesn't know what to do. And on top of that, all the information getting thrown at him about the anomaly and like the biological material found is like, he's like, I'm in over my head. And on top of that, yes, he was critically wounded in that, and he knew it. So, and yeah, it was an angry decision. Like when he said, you got us in this, you get us out. He's like, transfer all command. That was anger.
He could have even made 7. He could have even made 7 captain. He was just like, no, dude,
true.
fuck you.
Yeah, but he's an active captain at that point,
Yes.
right? He's not retired, so he's the highest in rank on
Mhm.
board. So
That's
that
true.
would have been him. Like,
Oh, wait, are you talking about Will?
yeah,
No,
Yeah.
so Will is, as far as season 1 was concerned, I'm guessing that this was still the case here. He was in active reserve.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
he was like Shaw says in the first episode, he was a captain without a chair.
but
Yeah.
but you're
No,
like
you're still absolutely
in a
right.
distressed situation,
Right.
like
Right.
horrible. You have a crew that is a good crew, but you have a captain here, former captain of that, Titan before, and who knows battle and stuff. Like, he's the guy in charge now. Like, duh.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and 7 is still on the shit list, so even
Yeah.
more than Riker is.
okay. By the way, when I was texting everybody, I was like, at one point, are they gonna call back 7? Because I'm like, everybody forgot she was here.
She's
Like,
listening to Mozart, man. Leave her be.
She's listening to Mozart. She's taking her to
Yeah.
their toys at her quarters.
Yeah.
everybody knows how I feel about Will Riker. Do I really need to give my thoughts on this? No. MC said it perfectly. I had a giant nerd boner. He's here. He's there. He's every fucking where. Will Riker. Will Riker.
He needed to put his leg up on something just to make it
He needed
perfect.
to do the Riker maneuver once, and he did. I'm going to take off like half a point for that. So this whole moment with him in command of the ship now leads to a huge tonal shift between Picard and Riker, who have two very like different ideologies about how to go about the situation. We already talked about it in the Strange Loop, but this is something that we rarely saw aboard the Enterprise. These two disagreeing. We did see it, the same exact situation, except in reverse, with Will and Picard in the All Good Things universe, where Will also wanted to play it safe, and Jean-Luc obviously wanted to go head on to the Nebulas. I felt like this moment was very much mirroring that. What did you think about this whole thing with it culminating with, after the end of the episode, Vadic basically killing the ship, Will kicking Jean-Luc off of the bridge? Giraffe.
Sorry. I was reading about
Will and Jean-Luc butting heads, culminating.
I forgot I was first. See, yeah, I really like that, to be honest.
Yep.
I really like the fact that Picard is not God, and because it annoys me. It annoys me to no end. Like with Kirk, for example, when they show up and they come at somebody's work and they're just like, oh, it used to be my ship, and like do whatever the fuck they want, and everybody passes everything to them. The fact that Will Riker is like, no, absolutely not. I was like, oh, sexy.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like a man with like lines, oh, I like it. And I was like so surprised that, for once there was this disagreement, like this strong man Riker in front of Picard and not the opposite. I was like, I like it. I liked it a lot. A lot.
A lot. MC.
Well, I think Riker had totally made the right decision. I mean, Picard is not thinking rationally right now. He is completely lost in this revelation about Jack. And Riker, of all people, knows it. He is the one who kind of gets where Picard is coming from. And also, I mean, I really like the moment where Picard is like, I think it's time you call me number one. But Riker never actually decided that Picard was gonna be his XO. It just kind of happened. So if they're having a fight on the bridge, then yes, Picard has to fucking go away because he's not really concerned about the crew. He is kind of stuck in dad mode at the moment, which is like a new thing for him, so he's not really thinking straight.
Yeah. Nice. Eric.
I loved it. Again, like the showing how close they are in the first scene really made the tension even higher when they started arguing in this sequence. So I loved it. And if I could quote the first fucking season for Picard, the sheer fucking hubris, because he thinks he's always right? And he thinks that what he has to do, and he keeps pushing it. Like he is the number one at that moment. He should obey the captain on the bridge, and he didn't believe that Will could figure out, he had his reasons, which were sort of shitty to throw in his face, but man, I understand where Will's coming from, and I think that he did the right choice at that moment. He might have been conflicted by previous experiences with his son, whatnot, but in an insurmountable situation, you want to save as many people as you can. And I think he chose the right way.
The only thing I don't understand is why he doesn't call Seven back to the bridge as an XO, because she knows the crew.
I think he was just so overwhelmed by everything that he forgot.
Yeah.
I think it is a matter of just forgetting, and I think there were about 1,000 different things going on, and it wasn't.
Why didn't Picard say anything?
Yeah.
He knows her.
Just
but both of them are not in their right minds right now. I get that it would have been awesome to have her on the bridge, but I also understand. I also understand.
It might be the next thing that happens.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah.
She would have also.
To be honest,
she
go ahead.
understands the ship. She would have been a better choice, right?
She made clear that they don't know how the new refit works, and
Yeah.
like that they like actually they're super old and like they don't understand the new toys, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's weird. And to be honest, I want women in action. Like, I'm cool with like them being mummies, but like, can we just not have only that? Like, I'm a bit
Mhm.
bored with like I don't really like vibe with anybody like so far. Like, I mean, it's cool, but you know, last season you had like badass Seven and Raffi going on an adventure. You had like badass Agnes.
You didn't like
Queen.
Bad Cop Raffi today?
Bad Cap Rafi was
Well,
awesome.
I
feel like
loved
they're
Bad
like-
Cop.
Yeah, but they're like kind of like super cookie cutter like reaction to things. Like they're not really like in-depth characters so far. And
Yeah.
I mean, Raffi is fun, but like she's just like being mad and like she's
Yeah.
like always mad. And
So
I'm like,
she's Raffi.
yeah, but like the angry black woman, like, can we move
Yeah.
on? Like, and have her like do something else for like a second.
Mhm.
And what Seven is like locked in a room listening to
Mhm.
Mozart, which I found super cool. But then she goes
It's
on a little
also
adventure with
very like telling, like that song, like Ave Verum Corvus.
Ave Verum. Yeah, Ave
like,
Verum is like, yeah.
It's often done with the with the Requiem, and it was written 6 months before he died. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if that's not telling something,
But
Let's-
the
let-
other thing is just like and Beverly is just a mom. Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's always about her being a mom. And I'm like, should we see her a little bit in action as a doctor? But I'm like, can they be part of a plot that is not like that is a cool plot?
Dependent on man. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I understand where Giraffe is coming from with this because Seven is being sidelined at the moment. And like her biggest thing in this episode was talking to Crash LaForge, who was mostly talking about her dad.
And she
And
found the
she
leak.
was
And she
talking
found
about
the
the
leak. She
captain.
found the
Yeah.
leak.
And she found,
the
okay,
leak.
yeah, okay, fair. But yeah, there has been some frustrating writing of women so far this season of Picard.
We totally skipped over Hawk for
So sorry, Hawk.
That's okay. I'm enjoying myself here.
for Riker and Picard's beef.
Okay. I kind of think there was some blame on both sides on that one.
Thank you. Yes, that's the
Yes.
right answer.
All right. So, like, their options were very limited, and they got a
Mhm.
lot more limited than that once they found out that they didn't have warp drive at that point, you know? So, like, even like getting out of the nebula meant them limping through space and that to get away from the Shrike. Will, I think, hesitated. Picard's plan was pretty sound in that, but Will was against it. Now, as somebody in the chat had noted that, you know, Picard was wanting to get rid of the threat to his son, like, you know, too sweet, which is a good point, you know, which was why he was pushing for like the aggressive tactic more so than the defensive and not really thinking about like the rest of the crew in that. But Will was so focused on just hiding and escaping when the moment was right, and that like he was outright dismissing like, you know, a good aggressive tactical option in that, you know. And, you know, I hate to say it, but the old Will Riker would have probably found a way. You know, he would have gone for the aggressive tactic, not before the defensive one. And again, they were dealing with the technology that they had only just been introduced to, and that with the whole portal technology and that. So it's like, it was still a sound tactic. You know, if they had gotten in the shot behind one of them, but the ship had turned at that point, right? So they saw them coming. You know, and then they just portaled their own torpedoes back on them and that. So
that was so cool.
It was harsh in that what Riker did with Picard, and not dismissing him and saying like, you killed all of us and that.
Yeah,
It's
that
sort
was
of
super
true
harsh.
though.
Yeah.
It's not though, because it was a good play had the Shrike not been where they wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't.
So it was a good plan,
So-
except for the fact that it didn't work.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, just because you know it doesn't work doesn't mean it wasn't a good plan. And I
that
think
would make it a bad plan because it didn't
That
work.
would make it a bad plan.
No,
It didn't
no,
work by definition.
Good plans don't work all the time.
Exactly.
I'm with the ladies on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we tried and it failed, and it was not a good idea. Let's move to a good idea.
Well, to be fair, I think Hawk is absolutely right. I don't think that either of them had any good ideas.
Mhm.
I think they had the only two ideas that they could think of, and no one else was really chiming in with better ones. So it was either fight, which I think,
And I don't even know if anyone would have because they don't know these two, right?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
They
it
were
was
also
just
having
not
a huge dick measuring contest. Right
They
on the
were.
bridge,
It was just.
so.
It was not a good situation for anybody.
17
Ultimately,
seconds.
as of right now, the Titan is falling without a life vest. I don't know. That was a
With an
horrible
anchor?
falling into
analogy.
a it's
Falling
just-
without an anchor. Thank you, Eric. Anywho, let's get back to our big dick energy, Captain Liam Shaw, who even bleeding internally is asking very important questions like how the hell do they keep finding us? Jack and Seven, they go on a little mission together, which is fun. I like how the door, after he punches the officer in the face, keeps doing the like because the guy's in
That
the
was
way.
savage.
That was great comedy. I love that. So they find a sabotage and a type of gas leak, which makes the Titan trackable. What did we think about the Jack Seven team up, Giraffe?
I liked it. I just was happy seeing Seven because like literally for like 15 minutes I was like, why is nobody calling Seven?
Yeah.
So I was glad that he went and grabbed Seven, but I mean he goes and grabs Seven because he cannot get into the bridge. You know, you're just like, okay.
Mhm.
Like, you promised me that it would be better for women on episode 3. It's a bit better. I don't see a great energy, though. So I hope it's
I don't know.
gonna
I loved
change.
Rafi in this episode so
I
much.
didn't. There's a many problem on how she's written as a black woman. And I mean, they're just canceling Discovery. Like, what is happening? Star Trek, like, we barely see Una in Strange New World. This is happening. This barely passing the Bechdel test. Picard, and then what? Thank God for Lower Decks, guys. So
And Prodigy.
ooh, with Discovery being canceled, I'm not feeling good. I mean, not being canceled. Sorry, on their final season. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the team up. I like the team up because I was glad seeing Seven, but yeah, she's a tool to like help Jack understand thing. I hope like she gets a real arc and like she actually does something rather than being here to facilitate her male counterpart. She's here to facilitate Picard thing. She's here to facilitate Riker thing. So she's here to facilitate Jack's thing. And I'm like, when is she doing her thing? I want to know how it's been for her and what's going on with Shaw and how is she being respected on Titan. Like you have this little conversation with LaForge, but you know, it's like, here your crumb. Women, eat your crumb. Go into your corner and enjoy the show. The men are leading.
I can't
Cool.
say anything because I said it last week and I was a little bit wrong, but like next week.
Dude, you
There's-
better.
MC, back me up on the Seven moment from next week.
Yes.
Yeah. MC on the team up.
I enjoyed it. I think that if there's anybody on this ship who can work with Jack, but also call him out on shit, it's Seven. Because I don't think she'll be enamored of the idea of him. Like, even Riker kind of got like some moony eyes when looking at like this child that I watched in the making for 20 years.
But he was very quick after he called him Riker, and he's like, "Oh, feel free to call me Captain." He was like,
That's
"I ain't having
true.
your bullshit,
That's true.
kid."
That's true, but I think Seven is even better
Yeah.
for that sort of
Yeah.
thing. As a Supernatural fan, seeing Chad Lindbergh as the saboteur made me happy and also sad because that did not last very long. But it's always nice to see him in anything. So, yeah, no, I thought this was an interesting team up and actually like figuring out what's going on, like why they're being tracked. It's nice that it's not just that the Shrike is like super powerful, that it's like basically something that everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something you don't think about when you're in the middle of combat.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that you went with Supernatural for Chad Lindbergh, and I was like, he was in the first Fast and Furious movie. That was the first thing I thought when I saw him. I was like, this guy's bad. He was he was one of Vin Diesel's boys.
He's just got the bad look, right?
He was awesome in Supernatural.
He was.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah.
The team up between Seven and Jack, like I feel like Seven could have figured this out by herself.
I agree.
Before
Yes.
Jack, but they needed Jack to be more integral to the story, so they shifted them together. I thought it was cool. I like how they play off each other. They're great. They're great together. I like the whole mystery of trying to find this gas that is leaking, and the whole idea that we get to see our first real changeling during this fight. Like changelings.
Get them a job.
Sorry. I lost my mind. Like when I keep thinking that the changelings are coming back, because this is what I wanted, a series that dealt with the repercussions of the past while moving these characters meaningfully forward. Hopefully more meaningfully for all of them equally.
Yes.
But this is what I wanted the sequel trilogy to be. Like I said earlier, for Star Wars.
Yes.
I loved it. I like the idea. This brings back like submarine movies where you're like, they're tracking the oil. There's a leak here, so this is why they're getting tracked. I was like, oh man, they've brought so much submarine stuff into the last like Strange New Worlds and here that it's just like, fuck yeah. It's hitting all the points that I love in action, like good action movies.
Yeah. Real quick, Hawk, before you go, Kevin Richardson's asking about Jack's vision. It's part of the show, baby. Interrupting Hawk. I feel like the hallucination was extremely important. I decided not to put that in the outline for reasons.
Yep.
Keep watching the show.
I have opinions about this, but I'll let Hawk go first.
I want to know.
I feel like Matt Damon in the Jimmy Kimmel show and that now. I'm good. But no, it was a good team up and that. Yeah, I know they need to do more with Seven and that. I mean, I kind of see it like where she is at this point and that, like, as she's already, as we know, she's already thinking like, what the hell am I even doing here anymore? In this role and that, taking shit from like idiots like Shaw. So I get that she might have been like laying in the cut for this, even though, like she could have taken out that arm guard, like if she really wanted to. No, she was just kind of laying in the cut. It's like, you want to sort yourselves out. Her and Jack Crusher teaming up was good in that, because it's kind of like, like with Seven, I'm surprised nobody went to her sooner on that. It's like, again, Shaw was asking the right questions that nobody else was at this point in that. So, and Jack Crusher ran with it, went to Seven, and it's like Seven's the perfect one to go to in that.
Well, she was the only one that found him too last week, right? So like it would be like the first thing, he's like, this one's smart. She knows what she's doing. Go to her.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to. I really want to see more interactions between these two. It was great.
Yeah.
I want to say what I think about the vision, because I've not seen anything, so this is like out of my butt. Like literally.
Like butt bugs?
Like MC says, it was in my butt all along.
That Terry
I have been known to say that.
squashed butt bugs today because someone put it as a theory and was just like, no. He was just like, no. And I still refuse to
always
believe it.
butt
It's always
bugs.
butt bugs.
Always
It's
butt
always
bugs.
butt bugs.
No, I think what it made me think. It made me think of
Bunnies?
Yes, absolutely, and basically like these visions of the prophets, and especially
You texted
after
that. Yep.
Oh.
after reading Second Self,
you
I'm
said
gonna
that.
speak about that book in every single episode
Yep.
until we get to review
I think I said
it.
that to Hawk like yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, it's
That's when we find
It
out
made
that
me
Cisco
think-
is the bad guy of the season.
Oh, imagine!
Yes, I can
totally made
imagine
me-
that.
It totally made me think of these like orbs vision that is always somebody somebody that that is that they always take the appearance of somebody and I think it was cryptic enough, the voice was like eerie enough, it was about branches on a tree. I was like, this is the fucking
I actually think it's a great theory. I love it. I love
so
it.
and I wonder if I'm gonna add one more thing. I wonder if like the waves, the weird waves they're receiving, it's not something to do with an orb, because I want it to be an orb.
I like it. I like orbs. Kevin Richards is asking way too many questions. It's
They're
Star
good
Trek.
questions, though.
Suspend your disbelief. Suspend your disbelief. Anyway, I'm gonna. You guys hit that on the head. I don't need to say anything more about it. I'm gonna go into trivia because last week we asked what the is that right? Yes, it is right. We asked what the drug was called that Sneed made Raffi take, and for extra credit, what it felt like upon ingestion. We had a decent amount of submissions for this one, and our winner this week is Leah. Congratulations, Leah. We will be in touch on how to get you your poster and sticker for answering the extra credit question. The answer was, does everybody remember?
Yes,
Winner.
I do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Splinter. And it made it feel like you were being torn apart and put back together again.
By a
which
Ninja
is
Turtle.
The effects of being splintered and like that in 12 Monkeys. And we have a new trivia question this week for, I will show them every week, one of these awesome Picard season 3 posters.
Beautiful.
Hawk, can you read the trivia question this week?
So our trivia question this week is, what kind of gas was the Titan leaking as a breadcrumb trail for the Shrike?
Just need the name this week. It's a nice and easy one. You can, I forgot to put the details, but just email us. It's easy. We created a new email address. Email us the answer at trivia@strangenewpod.com. Super nice, super simple. Let's talk about the Great Lake. Yeah, Eric. Let's talk about the Great Lake. I know.
I'm so happy
I'm
about
so
this.
excited. It's so true.
Oh my
With
God.
Worf and Raffi now working together, they interrogate someone connected to the bombing, only to discover that that person that they're interrogating is a changeling. Yeah, something that Worf has actually been investigating for some time because he got some messages from Odo being like, yo, not all of them are happy the war's over. You better look
And he
into
called
this.
him an honorable man. Oh,
An
man.
honorable man.
You didn't even have to name him, and we
You
knew.
didn't,
Yeah.
Renee.
Yeah.
What did we think about not only Raffi and Worf's chemistry, which I absolutely loved, but the implications of changelings in this
implications.
season of Picard, Giraffe?
Okay, so I suck at changeling, so I mean I know who they are, I know what they did. But you know, I'm a TOS fan. Like, you give me some Carry 7, I'm gonna be super happy. Changeling, I was like, oh yeah, I know those guys, yeah. And so what? That's literally like,
It hurts
I was
my
like,
soul.
like, I mean, no, I'm cool with it. It's fun. I like murdering them in Star Trek Online. I don't know the implication. Like, I mean, I do, but I'm just like, okay. The only thing like pissed me off is like Worf is explaining what's the Dominion War to Raffi, and I'm like, dude, you're her handler. She knows. Like, who are you that you don't know what the Dominion War is? Like, were you born yesterday? Like, she was born during Dominion
To be
War.
fair, Worf always has a bad habit of over-explaining things to people
Yeah.
that don't need things over-explained
Yeah,
to them.
well, I was
he, is,
like, oh.
he is a fervent and guilty mansplainer.
Yeah. He
Like,
is
that-
very
Throughout
much
Star
explaining for the audience. Like,
Yeah,
I know we
absolutely.
all
Yeah.
I know we
oh.
hate that, as you know, but sometimes you got to put that in for the audience.
Definitely
yeah,
new
no,
Trek fans who have
absolutely.
not watched DS9, which it brings up a great comment from Kevin Richardson. I love how this is going to force people to watch DS9.
No,
Damn
first of all,
straight.
like,
Right,
you're not gonna
yes.
force people to watch DS9. Like, you think people watch TOS after
No.
Strange New Worlds? Like, come on, like,
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
like,
I don't
it's not
think
gonna
it's
force
forcing them. It's going to make people want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the right answer.
The thing is, like, right now, what was like exciting to me is who else are we gonna see from DS9?
Yes.
That's the only
Exactly.
thing I want to
Yes.
know, you know, because like
Yep.
it's becoming like, oh, we're bringing everybody back from TNG, and
Kira.
now we're bringing everybody back from DS9, and hold my Romulan and L, we're gonna bring everybody back from Voyager. Let's go.
long as
Technically, we
Quark
already
shows
have
up.
a DS9 character on Picard with Worf. So
Yep.
You know, I know, but like I'm speaking of the
I
other
had
people.
to.
I mean, it's
I had
TNG,
to.
like,
I
come on.
had to. I had to.
Um,
Arguably, Worf was better on DS9 than TNG.
I mean, fair, but
I mean, agree. Yeah. So I don't know. The implication for me were like again, I can imagine. I know DS9 fans feel like they've been left out of New
It's
Trek a
because
lot.
they have.
Well,
Yeah.
like, come on, there's like a whole episode on DS9 in Lower Deck.
Oh,
You know what I'm
no,
talking
one
about?
whole
This is the first
episode.
One
thing,
episode.
Yeah.
Look
Come
at
on.
that. Come
Come
on,
on.
nerds. So I'm like, it's cool. I mean, I'm happy. I like bucket people. They're fun.
I like bucket people too.
Like,
Sometimes they
make
have
me think of
vases.
Yafe a little bit, huh?
Sometimes they have vases. Not always
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah,
sometimes,
exactly.
Damn.
Vases,
Sometimes they
so,
have
yeah.
fun mazes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes nothing at all because
Or-
Odo eventually just liked to just kind of ooze around.
Yeah, sure
Mm.
did.
He oozes.
That's
Yep.
he
MC,
basically said that.
I saw you nerd out. What are your thoughts on the implications of changelings?
Oh my god, I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like, I mean, I'm such a huge DS9 fan, and I actually kind of missed when we saw the changeling fighting with Jack.
Oh.
It's like, oh, what happened?
Well,
Like,
the effect is
Yeah,
different,
what
right?
was It's so
that?
quick.
it was so quick. It's like I knew I saw something, but I wasn't quite sure. But then when Worf had that line where it's just like, you've been away from the link for too long, and I'm like, what?
Yep.
What did you say?
Like
Worf
the first
played that
version was
so well.
changeling,
Oh.
but then I thought android maybe, you know, because like they've been like
Mhm.
misdirecting us with like lore and so on. So I was like, was that a new
Mm.
kind of android or something? But yeah. Mm.
But I really liked this because it's not something from Picard's past. Like, I have been talking about the wrath of conniness of this season, which I still feel like is still going on, because like that scene with Picard and Bev in the beginning was
Jack's gonna die. We know.
Yeah. So by bringing in the changelings, this is something that has absolutely nothing to do with Picard. This is not a personal vendetta. It's just something that
Happened to the universe.
happened. Yeah. And it's something that's continuing. It makes the universe feel larger than
Mhm.
just the things that happened during the 7 years of TNG.
Yes.
Yeah.
Specifically the things that happened to Picard. So I really like that. The mention of Odo, just like, I nearly cried over it.
Yeah.
Because like I'm upset that we can't get Odo back onto this. And
Yeah.
just, I mean, of course, it brings in the whole idea of, oh my god, changelings, like paranoia, like, is that the only saboteur on board? Like, what's going
Is
on?
7 still 7?
Who
Is
is
7 still
who
7?
on
Mhm.
the Titan? Yeah. Yep. Eric.
I'm so excited. Like, I've wanted to see the repercussions of the Dominion War, which was like quite a big war for the Federation for such a long time. Like, they just sort of, once it was done, they were just like, we didn't talk about it again. Nothing seems to, like, not even the movies were really like nothing. So the fact that this
I
is,
think besides Nemesis, the Dominion War was still going on.
yeah,
in
yeah,
Insurrection. But
Yeah.
the Enterprise was like not doing missions, kind of like
Yeah.
the Enterprise during the Klingon War.
yeah, it's so weird. But
Flagship.
I loved it. Again, my knee hurts. Like, there's a bruise on my leg from when I hit from when I hit it. It was that hard. I was that excited. Going backwards a bit to their relationship, Worf and Raffi. Like, I really liked their rapport. I like that Worf is this like Zen monk now. Like, he was doing like katas before when Raffi woke up, and that was so cool. And he was listening to Berlioz, which is from
First Contact.
from First Contact, but it's also from an
French
opera about the Trojan War, and it's a soldier who laments that he's never going to get home. It's in the 5th act of this opera. So it's him not being able to see his family and his friends again. So when Picard was listening to that in First Contact, he was thinking about his family, right? And how he'd never see them again, and they were gone because they had burned up. Sorry. But like with Worf listening to it, there's so many different implications. This is like a suicide run for him. It's just like, is he gone? Like, is he like, we don't know where he's headed. Like, Or is it just, hey, look, Picard listened to this in First Contact. Let's pop it in here because it's a cool sequence. The look on Raffi's face when she saw a changeling, it makes me think that she was so far away from the Dominion War that she, like, when we hear about wars, we hear like some details, right? But we're not fully in there. We don't know the implications of what happened. So her like experiencing that for the first time was amazing. Like, I really enjoyed her reactions to what was going on. Like, she may have been in shock, and Worf over explaining everything probably helped a little bit. I'm just gonna say that because I love Worf. I can't even think. There's so many things racing my mind about.
She's Starfleet intelligence. You think they don't brief them on changelings? I mean, maybe
Starfleet not. Like it is Starfleet, and it was such a long time.
Compartmentalizes a shit ton.
Yeah, and how much
Their
of that
secrets
was
have secrets.
Yeah.
Well, she worked in Romulan intelligence in the book, so
she did.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
The Romulan Bureau.
The implications, right, with changelings being the main bad of this season, I assume is the main bad of this season.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They could be anywhere, and how far their reaches is, like, they can be anyone. Like, that's amazing. That's better than butt bugs. All right.
Is it?
It is.
It is.
I still like my
It is.
theory about it.
They could,
like
maybe
your
the butt
theory,
bugs
too.
are changelings.
Yep.
Well, I will throw in my theory now. I have a theory that since the Dominion like genetically engineered all of these things, that they genetically engineered the butt bugs to be like the first century.
The first wave? Oh,
and
that'd be cool.
That's why they disappeared, because the changelings were like, we're going to do it ourselves.
I like
I
that.
actually really do like that. Hawk.
What can I say? I mean, like, there's so much to talk about. The changelings are back, and it makes sense now, like what Starfleet was doing with the whole thing with like Toluco and that. It's like, as Worf says, they do not want to acknowledge that the changelings are back. They don't want to let it out to the public and that, because, like, remember the last time what happened on Earth and that with all those restrictions.
That admiral tried to stage a coup.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying. It was, like, it was so weird that, like, DS9 was dealing with the fear that, like, some sort of a splinter cell operating within, like, your own home could do way before 9/11 happened. And we could now, I can see it in the chat. It's happening again, and that, it's like where everybody's getting suspicious now, and that, Haven just suggested that Bev is a changeling.
No.
and people are running wild with the idea.
It's 99% positive that people who've been injured already this season you can rule out, because changelings, if you try to hit, they don't.
True.
Yeah,
They revert.
I think late in DS9 they found some kind of way to negate the blood test, but still I think they still. So I think you could rule Shaw out, you could rule Bev out, you could rule Jack out, you could rule
Riker and Picard.
No, Riker and Picard never were injured.
No.
Were they not hit during that?
No. I mean, I think they shook a little bit, like on Enterprise D bridge.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Forge
they're hurt.
was not injured.
LaForge was not injured.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Seven was not
know.
injured.
Seven was not injured. So there are lots of options, but there are a few that you can take out. Anyway, Hawk, continue.
Yeah, but this was the paranoia that the changelings and the whole thing with Dominion caused, and it's like they're trying to avoid a repeat of that back on Earth, and that this is why this is being handled by the intelligence operatives and that. And my God, this was such a good Worf episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric, you mentioned about
Bane of the Duras family. I sent that gift to the Duras sisters.
Duras family, and that's a title that is like worth mentioning.
You want to have you want to be the bane of somebody. Like,
Yeah.
you think like it's goal.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have to ask, what kind of monster puts sugar in chamomile tea?
I put sugar in everything.
Yeah,
So-
me too. Lots of sugar.
Okay. Well, you guys are monsters.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with MC on this one.
Eric, you had mentioned about the opera he was listening to about
he stepped away.
God, he's
Okay. It's about a warrior lamenting that he won't be able to return home, and that I kind of see it like Worf has always been a warrior, like in spirit, and that throughout his entire life, and that any like in the traditional sense of the warrior, and that they put themselves outside their own death, and that so that they don't even fear it. So, it makes sense. Worf's whistling to that kind of opera. It was really good. I mean, yeah, maybe Raffi is being a little underwritten in that, it's because she's really not in the know, especially in the interrogation with that prisoner. She had it all wrong. The sweat and that she associated with withdrawal symptoms and that, waving that thing under his nose. Oh, by the way, did anybody point out that was Thomas Dekker playing that role?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But
Picard's son.
I didn't note it.
Yeah, sorry, I had to step away for a sec. Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, I know this guy, and I couldn't place him at first, and then I was like, Sarah Connor Chronicles. He was John Connor.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's also a Star Trek alumni, apparently.
Yeah. He was Picard's son in Generations.
Yeah, and he
I'm a
apparently
little
did
British boy.
two episodes of Voyager as well.
Oh, there you go.
I have to say, I thought he was way too attractive in that eye makeup in this scene. I'm just showing off my...
He looked a little bit like Billy Joe from Green Day.
He's always had that thing going on for him in the way back. Yeah.
It's my scummy taste in guys. So
I like some eye makeup with the MC.
Remember The Cure?
Changelings, Deep Space Nine. I mean, how many times, Eric, have we cried on this pod talking about Deep Space Nine? I'm so fucking here for it. Like I can't even put it into words. I'm here for Worf. I'm here for the fact that he's still part of the House of Martok. I'm here for Raffi just being like, what the hell just happened? Don't let that thing get away. I'm just gonna combine because we're getting really late on time. Love that who the fuck knows who's who right now on the Titan. It's literally anybody's game.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be really interesting. Oh man, I couldn't have asked for a bet. I would never have in a million years guessed that that's what we were getting this season, and it was such a beautiful and pleasant. That's when I screamed and almost hurt myself. Surprise. So I'm here for it. I am ready for it. I'm ready to be shook. Very ready to be shook. And heartbroken if something bad happens to people we love, like one of our favorites becomes a changeling or some shit, because I'm not ready for that.
Be one of the Daxes.
Oh, yeah. But bring back more DS9 characters for the love of God, please.
Kira.
Bashir.
Any final thoughts on this one? I know that there's some things that we left out for the sake of time that aren't huge plot points quite yet, but
how about the fact that like the CGI in the space battles was
my god,
it's cinema
excellent.
Quality. It's cinema quality.
It was so good.
It's cinema quality. Yep.
Yeah, I think they're doing a really good job of building things up so far. Like, I mean, I was a little unsure about last episode, but it's like, so this was the hook episode, so it feels like things are continuously moving forward.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the stakes are getting higher each week.
I'm feeling good so far.
Yeah. I had some Easter egg notes, but other than that, I love this episode. I think next week is gonna blow people's socks off. So why don't we get into Easter eggs? Does anybody have any before I go through? I actually do have a list this time, but I'll let anybody have anything that
I said
found? Most
of mine already.
Okay. Hawk, MC, Giraffe, no. DS9.
Guys, get out of here.
Past tense was referenced because Raffi goes to Worf, why do you have to be all past tense about everything, which is the name of DS9 episode. So I'm pretty sure when Riker tells Jean-Luc to sit down, Admiral, I think he says that exact line to Jean-Luc in All Good Things on board the Enterprise D, the big three-dicked Enterprise D. I said dick instead of nacelle. Sue me. Every time Riker says LaForge, it's like being back on the bridge of the Enterprise. It was just like, LaForge, like do this, LaForge, do that. I'm like, feels so good. Because she's awesome. The Riemann reference might have been a reference, but this is a reference, I think, to the Stargazer comic mini-series that was just released, because I think Bev actually references the exact attack that happens on him in that comic series. So check that out if you haven't read that yet. And then one of the biggest glaring ones, Voyager model in Seven's quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And then there's some musical moments, especially when Crash LaForge is talking with Seven. there's some very big hints of the insurrection score, which is I think very tied to the score of this series, which I love. I love the insurrection score.
There's a lot of first contact too.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yep.
now with Vallon Sonore, which is the aria that
Yep.
we're speaking about in Berlioz, it's another first contact
Yeah.
ref.
Oh yeah, I didn't even put that on my list. That is
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
out of first contact. So
Mhm.
yep. That's what I got.
Riker said Imzadi as well to Deanna
You
Troi.
did
yeah,
say
he says
Imzadi.
Imzadi,
Yeah. Anything else? Good. Alrighty, let's get to the subspace to pull and mailbag.
Comms, get me the dock master. Control tower reading, Commander.
Who wants to take the to pull this week? Hands.
I can do it.
Hit it, Hawk. Go ahead.
All right. So we asked Trek Twitter what they thought of episode 303, 17 seconds. And this is what they had to say. 63% said, did they just? While 25%, yes, they did. While 25% said, splinter me to episode 4.
It's a 12 Monkeys reference. Sorry, not sorry.
7% said, sinking deeper. And 5% said, rather be beheaded.
Who are
That
you?
is go.
Come
wow.
on, guys.
Like, I'm
That's
like,
very
Who are you?
extreme.
If Terry's not sorry
yeah.
for making the 12 Monkeys references, you don't have to be.
No, I know. I'm not. I'm really not. Speaking of beheadings, I forgot we should get to our rating of this episode. So let's rate it out of 10 Wednesday beheadings. And we'll go in our opposite order. Hawk will go with you first. Chat, let us know your ratings as well. Out of 10 beheadings.
I'm gonna go 9 this week. This was great. I know I don't want to go like too high every week in that, but you know.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave that to you in that. This one gets a nice solid 9 for me in that. You know, great action, great drama. Worf, come on, 9.
This is one of my favorite submarine episodes of Star Trek, so I'm going to give it a 10. I loved all the space sequences. There were some problems with the thing with like some of the plotting or like the Beverly thing, but I hope that they're going to be addressed later. And then, 7 on the side.
can't give it 10 if there's a problem in the plot, man.
No, I can because I still loved
You
it.
absolutely can.
I'm saying there are
Perfect.
problems,
The plot
but I
doesn't
don't
work, but
care.
It's perfect.
It's perfect for me. That's what the thing is, right? There are issues, but
Exactly.
I don't care. So I like it. 10. That's right, Giraffe. I was going to give it a 9.5, and then you made me pop it up.
Okay. I'm gonna go low, so like.
Oh, we figured.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I don't give a lot of high. I am very critical. So that means when I give it a 10, it's a 10. I'm giving it a 10. This
Oh,
was
shit.
amazing.
Wow.
I wish I had the ding, 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 ding on here. I don't.
Beep,
That's
beep,
very
beep, beep, beep.
disappointing. Wait, do I have an ear horn?
Or we could just fire up the Mortal Kombat music again.
I really could. Oh, wait. There it is.
And now Giraffe is just going to rain on the parade.
No, it's like last week I gave it 8.5 and I took a point off 7.5 because there was like no women doing anything. So I'm gonna take again another 0.7. Like, what is this? What is this? The 50s? Like, I'm not in like Star Trek to watch like plots that are written like the first season of TNG. Come on. I
That's
love the
harsh.
stories.
That's
I love the
yeah.
stories. I love the what was going on. I love the portal. I loved like the beheading. I loved everything. But oh my god, like why? Where are the women? Where are the women? Like no,
They're with Harry
absolutely not.
Mudd.
Yeah, they're with Harry Mudd. Obviously, like it's just sad. It is sad. It is sad. And you know what? I'm double pissed because Get McFadden, when she was selling Picard, was like, oh my god, this is like the best like lines I had. And I'm like, you being a psycho mom who makes bad decision. I'm waiting for you to be badass like the first 10 minutes of that first episode. Where
She
is
saved Shaw's life in this episode.
that?
She did.
Because not all
I'm
censors.
sorry. It's like a line of technobabble with another woman that's mean for no fucking reason, by the way. Like,
Maybe
It's
she's
her- no,
ageist.
she's not mean for no reason. That's her sick bay.
Yeah.
That's totally understandable. I'd be pissed if another doctor came in. Remember when she was pissed in the episode with doing Worf's
Julian, they're like people dying left and right. There's another doctor coming in. You're not gonna be, this is my territory. Let me handle the people dying.
Giraffe, you've been defending Shaw. She's doing the exact same thing Shaw's doing.
People are fucking dying on the fucking, like bleeding everywhere. Have you ever met a doctor that would be, no, I want to do CPR myself? Like, I've come from a familiar doctor. If you have another doctor coming in, you're like, help now.
She doesn't make Bev stop though.
Nope.
No, but she's mean for no reason. Like, you have to admit that the writing of women is pretty fucking terrible for being produced in 2023. Like, come on. Like, I know we all love the plot, and I know it's all cool.
I just don't
get me started about the lack of fucking diversity in that show, because that's another topic that I'm happy to start if you want, because it's white men boogaloo, okay? And I'm very happy that they're very happy. Everybody's like touching themselves on this, but they're canceling Disco, and they're giving me this instead. And I have all the right in the world to be fucking pissed that Star Trek is doing so many steps backwards. Okay? Bring me Cisco right now.
I'm going to give this a 9.5 because I'm giving a 10 to next week, so you should get excited for next week.
Yeah, I hope so. Like some black people coming in? Like, where's Jordy LaForge?
Coming.
Damn.
He's coming. Okay, let's go to the ratings on chat. Haven gives it an 11 out of 10. Chris gives it a 10 out of 10. Mechalef's held in rippling arms like that. Mechaquan, a 9 out of 10 spoonfuls of sugar in Worf's chamomile tea. Kevin Richardson, 7 out of 10. Great FX, great back half, but I can't get over how the women are written. Wayner, yeah, fair. 10 changelings. Are there any others? Danny Pearson, 9 out of 10 for me as well. I'm ready for more Picard fun. And that's that. Should we get to the mailbag? Who went last on the rating draft? So Eric, can you take Captain Idols, please?
Yep. Captain Idol wrote, love the introduction of Worf, son of Sergei. Sergei? Sergei. Oh my God. House of Rochenko, Slayer of Chamomile Tea, Bane of Prune Juice. Do you take beheadings on Wednesdays? That's right, isn't it? Been about 13 minutes since my 16th viewing.
Nice.
What?
Hawk, can you take? I have to switch pages. Havens, please.
Haven wrote, I had to watch this episode twice before writing my mailbag, as it gave me all the emotions. I felt like Data back in Generations with the emotion chip. Was it the reaction to Commander 7 by Crash? Was it Riker and Picard fighting on the bridge? Was it the mention of the honorable Odo? Or was it my emotion chip overloading with excitement? The answer is yes to all. Also, if you rewatch the scene when Picard is running to sickbay, it is literally 17 seconds from the moment Riker says go, after Seven tells the bridge Jack is injured, that Picard enters sickbay, to the point where you see him enter sickbay, and a total of 34 seconds after Seven tells the bridge Jack is injured.
It wouldn't be a Haven mailbag with an exact time on a turbo lift ride. Love it. Haven loves to point out when I skip people, so I will go back and into the chat. Maggie Light gave this one a 9, and Shatterhand gave it a 9 as well. MC, you're up with Michael Kwan's, please.
Michael Kwan wrote, things I loved about episode 3, 17 seconds. All of Worf's dialogue and Michael Dorn's delivery. Worf really has been working on himself, and he may be the Uncle Iroh Star Trek needs. He's definitely the one that Rafaela needs. The reveal that a rogue group of changelings who have refused to accept the outcome of the Dominion War are involved was not something I was anticipating. Liam Shaw continues his turn from heel to hero. I mean, giving the crucial information to Jack Crusher about how the Shrike was locating the Titan by pointing to his own blood trail. I'll close with my admiration for Vadic's cat and mouse game with the Titan and her imaginative use of her portal gun. Think you're getting away? Zap. No, you aren't.
Nice. Uncle Iroh is from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I did not watch that.
Can you take Chris's, please, Giraffe?
Chris wrote, I took notes. I was so impressed, and here we're two.
Here we
I
go.
absolutely. And here we go. Okay. I absolutely love how calm Vadic is in her scenes. I'm pretty sure we've seen earlier series, beam people to. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure we've seen earlier series beam people to sickbay. So why are they still writing turbo lift in crisis times? Thank you. Eye roll. Each character acting so seamlessly still. From JL to Bev and Bev to the way Riker grind. Grind? I don't know.
Grind.
And grind.
Riker
and,
grinding would be a whole different show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd watch that.
I would watch
it too. And did the wide eyes. Not to mention Worf with his mek'leth and opera. I love Shaw, and we should have known that her name was Rafaela by all the red she was wearing. 10
Nice.
out of 10. They both missed the D.
That's a great Ninja Turtles reference, Chris.
Yeah.
Well done. Oh man. Is it me? Colin wrote, "What an absolutely awesome episode. So much to say and so few sentences to fit all in. First, Worf. What can you say? He was a revelation. Second, changelings. Never saw that coming. Third, big shout out for a mention of Odo. Fourth, JL and Riker on opposing sides. It cannot be. And fifth, 7. That's just for me. I love her to the moon and back. 10 out of 10. And take us home, Eric, please, with NY Rowlate.
All right. NY Rawlite wrote, Rogue Changelings being the villains was wonderfully unexpected and a great nod to DS9. My favorite scenes, though, were anytime Worf was on screen. I'm still not loving the explanation for Bev not telling Jean-Luc about Jack and isolating herself from all her longtime friends.
Damn right. Oh boy, that was an episode. That was a conversation. These are the good ones, folks. These are the good ones.
Hey,
There's
more women, and I give it a 9. I love the story.
hey, I think that's fair.
I need to keep them accountable
Someone
because
does.
you're not.
Someone does. Well,
Someone does.
She was pointing exactly at me.
that's fair. I'm just the host. No, I'm kidding. No, hold them accountable, Draft. Fuck yeah. We will be back next week with episode 4. Okay, so just very quickly, because we are so over time. I'm planning a guest. It hasn't been working out. We're planning another guest that may work out. We don't fucking know, but we are going to have guests. So I am going to announce 2 guests that are 100% coming on this show in the next couple of weeks. We are going to be very happily welcoming back Jessie Gender to the show. She's going to have a really cool announcement. She's going to review episode 5, which is by far, yeah, that's going to be a great one for her to review with us. And then Bill Smith, one of the hosts of Trek Geeks and, the whole Trek Geeks network, which is awesome, is going to be joining us for episode 6. Stay tuned about next week. Might be awesome. Might just be another review. We'll see. We don't know.
Hey,
you gotta love
let's
doing.
see.
Let's see. You gotta love doing live
Promising
shows.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So that is gonna do it for this one. For Eric, for Hawk, for MC, for Giraffe, I am Julian. Live long and prosper. Majram. Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.